I took off the Dean's plug there and I replaced it with the Traxxas plug here. And before I install it, I always like to take some of this goop here. Amazing Goop 2 Max by Eclectic Products. And I like to, if you guys can see this here, I'll make sure you can. So what I do is I take a bit of this goop and I just put a bit down each wire hole where the wires go, kind of sealing it and securing it, making it a little more waterproof, and also keeping those wires nice and sturdy in place there so they won't pop out and pull out of those, locations there. I've had them come out before on these Traxxas ones. They hold in pretty good, these Traxxas plugs. The wires hold in pretty good, how they click in place, but sometimes they do come loose. So I just like to do that, a little added security there. And also I had to, on this Speed Control's power wire, the wire that goes to your receiver here, I had to put an extension on because it wasn't going to reach my receiver. So I dug out through my box of stuff, my electrical box, and I found I did have one here. And so the black, red, and white on these ones here, they're different colored wires, but you always remember, black goes to brown, obviously red to red, and orange goes to the white. So we plug that in. Same thing, I'll take a bit more of this Amazing Goop, and I'm going to just add a little bit right to this junction. Not a lot, just a bit. Because when it dries, it'll keep these together so that you don't have a problem with them coming apart while you're RCing or losing power because they get loose or something like that. So just a little bit. You don't have to get over, don't have to go crazy and get too much on there. Just a bit. That'll harden up good. Or not, it doesn't harden up, it stays flexible. That's what I do like about this adhesive here. Amazing Goop. It stays nice and flexible, almost like a silicone or a rubber, which is great for RCing because nothing's mounted hard then. Nice and flexible. So we're going to dig out a pinion here. I've got a few pinions here. I'm not sure exactly what size I wanted to go with, but I was thinking about a 25 tooth. That's a little too big. That's a 5mm shaft for that one. Now let's see, we've got 23. Oh, there's a nice looking one. It doesn't have any numbers on it, so I'll count that one out after. I think I had a 26 here. And what's this? Doesn't say. I believe that's a 25, that one. And can't see what the rest of these are. That's 20, 23. Alright, well I got a couple here. I'm going to go choose through. I think I will, let's see, this is a 26. This one's bigger. This one's a 25. It's kind of chewed up and ugly. I'm not going to use that. 26. This one's a little bigger, this black one. So I think I'm going to go with this black one because it's actually a nice looking gear. Very finished, nice finish to it. So I think that's going to be a nice hardened gear. I'm just going to quickly clean it up a little with a toothbrush here to get any of the old dirt and debris out of there. Yeah, and this one's nice looking. And I'll also dig through my Traxxas gearing box and see if I have, well, I don't have to see if I have, I'll just dig out one because I know I have one. 86, or I think it's an 86. If you guys know, maybe an 84 tooth spur gear. What's the lowest number that Traxxas makes for these? I'm not quite sure. I believe it's an 86 or an 84. So I'm going to dig that out, and give me 1 minute and I'll be right back with that. Alright guys, I'm going to go through one of my spare parts bins here. When you do as much work on RCs as I do, you end up getting a bunch of stuff from a bunch of different people. I got parts for all sorts of RCs. This is a Traxxas box here, as you can see. Most of these packages are all Traxxas. Got a few HPI gears in here too. I got all sorts of stuff, but here we go. Here's the Traxxas bag of gearing for the 1/10 scales. What do we got in here? Well, let's see, what's this? That would be, I can't even see there. Where it is. Oh, this is 76 tooth. Whoa! That's small. Let's try that one. That's going to be some high speed. What else we got here? 83 tooth. 86 tooth. Oh, here's an open 76. 86. 86. 86. So, well, let's try, seems we got an open 86. And these ones are both looking real good. So I'm going to keep out the 86 and the, wow, 76 and 86. Whoa, what a difference in size. That's a super speed gear. Well, I'm going to keep both those out. 76 and an 86. Because I think that's about where I'm going to start my gearing. Let's see what I can come up with it. Actually, maybe I'll keep this 83 tooth out too. That will give me a nice range there. Actually, forget it. Let's just try. Let's just go for speed here. Let's just go with this 76 and we'll see if we can put it together with that and get it running with that. So 76, and I believe it's probably around a 26 or 27 tooth. So we're going to see what that'll do for speed for us. Probably make this thing go hyper warp speed. That's what I'm hoping. Sounds good. Okay, well, I'm going to get all these parts stuck away and get a bit more of this wrenching done tonight. Show you what I get done here in a second. Okay, I've got the clutch all apart. Sorry, well, I guess it is the clutch. Sorry, the slipper clutch. I've got the spur gear off here. This is the original spur gear that was on this truck. 90 tooth, off-road, lots of torque. You know, okay speed, but lots of torque. This is the gear I'm putting on. A 76 tooth. You can see the big difference in them. I'm going to get quite a bit more speed with this little gear here, because that's how you get it right. Big gear, more torque. Little gear, more speed. That's the spur gear we're talking about. This is for all the new guys, right? I know you guys that are all experienced or ask, you know, going, I already know this, but I'm not talking to you. This is for the guys who don't know what we're talking about here. Okay, we slap the slipper clutch pads into place. You just push them into place like that. Then we'll take, hold on one sec, guys. I got to get some Loctite. Make sure you clean off your little screws here. Clean off the threads, any old Loctite that was in them. Clean them up before you reapply new Loctite and put them into the hub. And these screws, sorry, these little screws, these M3 little screws, they go, the only reason I'm putting Loctite is they go into this aluminum, this little clutch here, little basket. So you want some thread lock on those because it's metal on metal threads. And plastic on metal, you know, metal threads into plastic, you don't need thread lock. But when it's metal on metal, I always use thread lock just to be safe that it's not going to vibrate and back out, especially on something like this. So tighten it up a bit, but not fully tight. We'll get all these Loctited a bit before we tighten it right down. Just bear with me, guys. That little one in there. And I'm also, before I put this all back together, I'm going to clean and re-oil the little bearing that goes right into there. Just making a mess with this Loctite. Sucker's leaking all over. I hate that when you open them and there's some reason they're pressurized and they just want to leak all over you. Sorry guys, I had to get a rag there. Making a bit of a mess there. Okay, so basically just tighten those up. You know, snug them down. Don't have to crank them too tight or you're going to probably strip them. They're just small threads in aluminum. Crank them down nice and snug. That's why you use the Loctite. You don't have to crank them super tight. If you got Loctite on, it'll lock those threads in place, dry, and and they ain't going nowhere. Okay, here's that little bearing I was talking about. I'm just going to slap it into place. I've already cleaned it a bit. Now I'm just going to get a bit of, I use this stuff because it's readily available for me. I don't have to go to any special store to buy it or anything like that. Where's my gear? There it is. So basically it's a 3-in-1 oil, penetrating oil. Works great for lubing little bearings like this because it will get right past the seal. It's made to penetrate into small little cracks there, so it'll go into the between the rubber seal and the metal there, and just give it a couple spins, work some of that oil into there, and wipe off the excess. Doesn't need to be nasty. Good to go. That's all you need. Now what I'll do, hold on guys, I'll slap this gear back on, but I'll spin the truck around here so you can see what I'm doing here. Get rid of this Loctite, which is leaking all over the place. Okay, spin this truck around, slide it back a bit. Hopefully you guys can see all that good still here. Hold on, I'm going to bring it over into the shot a bit more if I can. Hopefully that's good for you guys. Just a second, I'm going to check the camera. Alright, looks okay. So I'll just tilt it over outside. Basically just slap her back on. And like I said, this is for the guys who don't know what they're doing here. Not for the professional Traxxas boys out there. Here's your spring. The little nut. And because I'm going to set this up for a street vehicle, I'm probably going to tighten the slipper clutch down pretty good because I'm not going to be doing any jumps with this vehicle or anything like that. It's basically just going to be hard accelerating